My name is Takashata. I'm from Super License from Japan. Car number 2.
大家好，我是宁海涛，是在 F3 Asia 的系列赛中参加的Ningbo Motorsport 车队中国原创车队，我的车号是3号。
Hello, my name is Louis Pret. I'm from Monaco. We're here in Shanghai with Black Arts Racing, and I will be holding the car number 4 for this weekend.
叫一块，我代表 Motorsport 驾驶5号赛车，我来自中国上海。
大家好，我是 EMC2 Racing 的刘泽轩，来自上海，我的车号是6号。
Hello, my name is Tomoki Takahashi, car number 7 with Super License. I'm from Japan.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Mohammed from Kenya. I'm racing for SVC Asia and I'm car number 8.
Hi, my name is Thomas Ludi. I'm racing with Black Arts Racing car number 9. Born and raised in Switzerland, but been in Shanghai for the last 20 years. Excited to be racing at my home race this weekend. Cheers!
Hello， 我是梁汉昭，来自澳门，然后是在 Dragon High-Tech 技术车队。
Hi, my name is Raoul Hyman. I'm racing with Dragon High-Tech GP in car number 27, and I race for Great Britain.
Hi, my name is Akash Neil Nandi. I drive for Absolute Racing. My car number is 29 and I'm from Malaysia.
My name is Dragon. I come from Japan. Car number is 30. 上海サーキットは初めてですけど頑張ります。
I'm Akash Gowda, racing for Team M Sport from India. Car number 33. Thank you.
Hi guys, Jake Hughes, 24 years old, from Birmingham, United Kingdom. I race the number 34 Dragon High-Tech GP car, and you join us this weekend in Shanghai International Circuit for round 3 of Asian Formula 3.
I'm Jaden Conwright, driver of Absolute Racing, car number 80, and I'm from Fremont, California, USA.
那么在昨天进行的第10回合比赛中，34号车手 Jake Hughes 他不但是甘位取胜，把他在车手积分榜上对他拿到亚军的队友Raoul Hyman的领先优势扩大到了19分。他还做出了全场最快圈速。 那么这样一来，这位英国车手是拿到了本周末全部3回合比赛的杆位，非常强势的表现。在大师杯组别方面呢，由于2号车手Takashi Hata的退赛，冠军的争夺主要集中在6号车手刘泽轩以及3号车手 Zen Motorsport 的尹海涛中间。那么最终是刘泽轩拿下了大师杯的头名，但是大家不要忘了，尹海涛现在依然手握20个积分的领先优势，是占据了大师杯积分榜的第1名。那么今天即将开始的这场比赛呢，依然应该是一场非常激烈的争夺，因为所有组别冠军的悬念依然是还在继续。那么我们就敬请期待这样一场精彩比赛。下面有请我的同事 Matthijs 为我们进行介绍。
All right, good morning everybody. Welcome to the F3 Asian Championship, round 4, race 11. We're here on the grid today with Gianfranco De Bellis, the CEO of Tatus, the manufacturer of the race car, as well as Giovanni Delfino, the CEO of Autotecnica Motori, the engine developer of the Formula 3 cars. We've got some questions for you today. First of all, with the new Formula 3 car, it's quite different from the previous traditional Formula 3 car. Can you tell us what are the main differences and what were the biggest challenges developing the new car?
Okay, thank you. Good morning to everybody. The bigger difference with the new car is the improvement of the safety. FIA they decided to introduce also for the entry level the new concept of the safety that you have saw this year in Formula 1 with the introduction of the Elon, that is the main component, but not only related to the Halo but also the chassis. We did a big improvement for a company like us. It was a great challenge to realize this kind of car. But we are very happy because FIA they push also the small manufacturer like us to introduce these new safety rules, and for us that is it's been a very positive also for the entry level series.
Okay, great. Also, we just yesterday the confirmation of the FIA series in Europe as well as the women's series in Europe. Looks like it's going to be quite a tough time and challenging time for the next few months. When do you expect the first cars to be delivered in Europe?
Yeah, we expect to deliver the first batch of 20 cars within the end of the year for the WSK, that is the promoter of is an Italian promoter that he won the tender in FIA to launch the regional series in Europe. I think we need to be very thankful to Top Speed and to Asian Formula 3 Championship, because to have the opportunity to start this year with you, the first series in the world, the new concept of Formula 3, they give us the opportunity also to show the product in Europe and to some other promoter, and we are very happy about the result. Thank you to Asia.
All right, great, thank you. Then a question for Giovanni. We heard some rumors that they might increase the power of the engine units. Now, at the moment it's 270 horsepower, they're saying maybe around 300. Is this a problem for the engine, or is it quite easily to do?
No, let's say that the Alfa Romeo base engine is a powerful engine, reliable engine, so we don't think at all it is a problem. We have already pushed the engine to power which are major than 270, so I don't think it will be a problem. Honestly, as Gianfranco was saying, the introduction of the new feature of safety of the car requires maybe to discuss the power of the car, so we will do it in the next few weeks.
Okay, great. Then also, some people have been asking, if you look at the traditional Formula 3 cars, there's always a big airbox on the side of the car. We don't see that with this car. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, the reason is that the only thing the two engines have in common is the name engine. Yeah. And it's a completely different concept, because this is a production engine due to the maintenance of the cost and the reduction of the cost. The Formula 3 previous engine is a completely brand new engine, so it's a different tool from the production one. That's why you don't see the airbox outside the car. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you very much. And back to Alex.
好，我们的比赛马上开始，大家不要走开，谢谢。
Almost time already.
Hello, Hughes. You think after the first time you race in here, do you think you can drive faster today?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, today we have Morel, my teammate, in P2. I think he's closer to me on pace, so it should be a closer race than what we had before the safety car yesterday. So yeah, just have a good start, try and keep the lead into turn 1, and then get my head down from there.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello, Hyman. Have you changed anything set up to your car today?
Nothing massive. Obviously, we're always trying to move forward as a team in terms of the car setup, but there's no big differences. I think the pace was pretty decent yesterday, so we're just going to aim to move forward again in the race today.
Okay. Good luck.
Well, welcome back to Ningbo International Speed Park for the 4th event of this historic first F3 Asian Championship certified by the FIA. Of course, yesterday we saw the 10th race of this season. Here is the starting grid set by virtue of the fastest lap times during race 1, and no surprise that Jake Hughes will start from pole position alongside teammate Raoul Hyman. Third in line, of course, another teammate, Charles Leong from Hong Kong. Then it's Jaden Conrad, who ran quite strongly yesterday, unfortunately suffered a drive-through after a starting infringement, was deemed to have jumped the start. He wasn't the only one. Ling Kang also in the number 5 entry forced down pit lane for a drive-through penalty. Akash Nandi will start from position number 5, Jaden Conrad's absolute racing teammate. Tomoki Takahashi, we didn't quite see what we were hoping from him yesterday, the super licensed driver from Japan. Might have expected him to be challenging the top trio, but in the end, Akash Nandi got through on him fairly quickly and was able to push to 4th place in this opening race, round 10 of the championship. Jeremy Wahomey will start from position 7. That's a better job by the British-based Kenyan. He had a tough race yesterday, worked through from rear of field and held out Jaden Conrad in the closing stages after Conrad had served his drive-through penalty. Ling Kang will start from position number 8. Zhejuan Liu will start from position 9. Haitao Lin position 10. Takashi Hata in the second of the super license entries start from position number 11. Louis Pret not having the greatest of seasons. Dramas yesterday. Tapped into a spin from mid-pack in the early laps, had all the work to do to come through. Probably a little bit of damage, which had an impact on his overall lap time. Puts him as the second last driver in the field, and Akash Gowda spent a lot of time in pit lane yesterday with an issue. So he will be hoping to get back up to speed, the Indian driver, who has been doing such a good job this year, but has been without a lot of luck. There is the number 8 entry of Jeremy Wahomey. He won't want to be sitting on the grid. It looks like he's got it sorted. Well, the engine's running, but yep, it's in gear, and he's away. We'll get round onto the tail of this field ahead of the race start. And of course, you heard from Raoul Hyman, who will start on the inside. Pole is on the outside here at Ningbo Speed Park by virtue of the fact that's the cleaner part of the circuit, so probably more grip off the line. The run through the left-hand kink at turn 1 is more a kink than a turn. 22 turns, 23 depending on which version of the track map you look at. Just over 4 kilometres in length. Very, very busy circuit. Very bumpy, drivers will tell you that, but of course these very stiffly sprung Tartus F3 T318s make it a little bit more dynamic for the drivers. They're all young guys predominantly. Dragon not in the field, the B-Max boss this time round, as we prepare for what will be a 25-minute journey, race number 11 of this historic first season. And as Matthias was saying down on the grid, of course this car has been chosen as one to debut also in Europe next year, and of course with the new Formula W series that was introduced to the media just a week ago. Some good news overnight too from Hockenheim in Germany. The great Michael Schumacher's son Mick has taken out the 2018 European Formula 3 title with one full round still remaining. So the second generation driver doing his family proud. But here we are. What can Jake Hughes do? Well, so far he's been flawless. Every race he has contested this year he has won. He is leading the championship, 19 points over his teammate Raoul Hyman after his 7th victory yesterday. Has set the fastest lap and pole position in every race so far he has been in this season. He wasn't here at Ningbo a little bit earlier in the year. A substitute who managed to do the job and take the Hi-Tech Dragon GP team to another victory. As we get ready for a start. 5-second board is in, it's just a matter of seconds, and we will be underway with race 11 of the 2018 F3 Asian Championship. Hyman under attack from Charles Leong, trying to squeeze him, but he's on the outside. But Jake Hughes, flawless start, down to turn 1. Hyman manages to hold out his teammate Charles Leong further back. It looks like it may well be Jeremy Wahome going wide in the number 8 entry. The fluoro yellow tabs. Oh, very wide on the exit down there of 5 too, so he wants to be very careful. Charles Leong doing what he can to try and fire up the inside of Raoul Hyman. He's got him, but will he get through? Right-hander, he should have position side by side. To be very careful, a lot of runoff here at Ningbo Speed Park too. That makes things easier. There's Jaden Conroy, who ran very strongly in practice. He won round the third race, round 6 of the championship here at Ningbo. So he has a race win under his belt already this year. Akash Nandi a little bit further back. That looks like it is in fact Tomoki Takahashi who has moved up to position 5. So good run from him. Charles Leong looking very, very racy in the early stages of this race. And unfortunately for Raoul Hyman, he's gone from attack to defend. And look at what that's done. That's allowed Jake Hughes, the young Englishman who's doing double duty with GP3 this year, to get through. Jaden Conroy, position 4, holding out Takahashi in the super license white and red entry in position 5. Akash Nandi, the young man from Malaysia with a lot of experience in GT cars, in position number 6. Perhaps not performed the way we would have expected to see him this year, but no doubt he will apply all his extensive experience in the circuits of Asia as this year goes on. We're down to one final event after today's 2 races, and that is back to Sepang International Circuit, where this historic championship first kicked off earlier this year. Good battle, that's Wahome. Looks like one of the Black Arts Racing entries. No, in fact it's not. It's the EMC squared entry of Ryan Liu, who has been very successful in GT4 competition in Asia this year. Has come off an event a couple of weeks ago, in fact just last week, rather, in the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup, making a debut in the GT4 Cup class. Took back-to-back victories in that event. He's been doing a very good job. So there it is, Jake Hughes leading already by 2.5 seconds. Charles Leong back about 0.8 of a second. There he is, he goes through in the number 11 entry. Jaden Conroy, well, he's looking to try and get past Charles Leong, but he's also got Takahashi filling his mirrors. Very busy young man, 24 years of age, the man leading. Number of drivers that, well, youngsters effectively behind him, 20 and younger into the teens. a good mix of skill sets, but of course, by virtue of the experience of the Hi-Tech Grand Prix team in the UK, very experienced campaigners with all manner of open wheel competition in the development formula. They have their cars running 1, 2, 3, hard on the throttle. It's coming down out of, that's turn 18. There's a slight bump in the circuit there as one of the circuit variations rejoins. You need to get that one right. The car gets light, and of course that'll step the back out, especially when you're turning through a corner. So Hughes, fastest first sector, fastest second sector, fastest third sector. We saw him do this in the opening laps of race 10 yesterday. 141.797 first flying lap, and he's extending his lead. Safety car intervention late in the piece yesterday, unfortunately for the second of the super licence entries. Takashi Hata had a spin down at turn 8 and 9, stopped perpendicular to the circuit, across the circuit, couldn't get the car restarted, and we came under safety car, and that's the way we finished. But Jake Hughes by that stage was 8 seconds down the road at the lead of the race, untroubled as he has been so far in the 7 prior races he has contested. There is Jaden Conroy, the young man from California, doing such a good job for Absolute Racing. Talking to Rodolfo Avila, a very experienced campaigner from Macau. Came from a pretty reasonable weekend last weekend in China Touring Car Championship competition. Qualified very, very strongly on the street circuit, but he is down there in the garage just giving those young drivers from Absolute Racing as much of his experience as he can. He said they struggled a little bit in practice and testing, but got onto the tail of the Hi-Tech Dragon GP team pretty quickly. And Jaden Conroy, very, very strong during qualifying. Started from the front row yesterday, didn't make a bad start. Jake Hughes made an absolute blinder of a start, admitted afterwards probably one of the best starts he's ever put in. And he got away okay. Conroy got beaten to turn 1, but sadly for him, he also got a drive-through penalty for having been judged to have jumped the start. The driver of the number 5 entry this weekend, Lin Kang, also judged to have jumped the start, both of them receiving a drive-through penalty. That dropped Jaden Conroy back as far as P8, and he worked his way back through the field. Talking to Raoul Hyman after the race, he said he'd heard from his team that Conroy was going to be given a penalty, so the wisest thing was just to wait until that penalty occurred. He said Conroy didn't come down pit lane as early as he would have liked, so he ultimately made a passing move, but by that stage his teammate Jake Hughes was done and gone. There is Louis Pret. He is currently in position number 9 in this race, leading the Masters class at the moment is the number 3 entry of Yin Haitao from the Zen Motorsport Group. White, orange and black livery. That looks like Akash Nandi, the blue trim on the gunmetal black car. The 5 car behind him, that is Lin Kang. Geez, hard on the throttle, still pumping out good sectors. First sector, fastest of this race. Second sector dropped off, and he comes across the line, 141.7. He's a 141.4, leads by 3.1 seconds. Now let's put Raoul Hyman into contrast. Last lap round, 141.7, which was the fastest lap of this race last time round for Jake Hughes. So he's certainly sticking with his teammate. Charles Leong, a couple of tenths further back. Jaden Conroy, a couple of tenths further back. There's a couple of tenths separating each one of these cars as each lap goes on. Of course, we're listening to Giovanni and Gianfranco down on the grid with Matthias at the start of this race, talking about how the F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA, is the first FIA F3 Championship to adopt the FIA's new global vision for the formula with a single chassis, single engine concept, which will be introduced. The plan is globally from next year. We've heard that Europe is going to follow similar lines. And in Asia, Tartas provided the chassis, the Italian chassis manufacturer, Been involved in the sport for a very long time. The F3 T318 monocoque carbon chassis with very, very solid front, rear and side crash boxes. That has increased the weight over the current spec F3 car that's running around in Europe, but certainly a much, much safer car. The Halo, of course, the European Championship that Mick Schumacher has just won doesn't feature the Halo, but of course Formula 1, F2 and F3 now featuring the FIA safety device. Looked a little bit out of place to start with. There goes a visor tear off, I would suggest, from Jake Hughes. I don't think he was indicating anything to his team. Of course, that is a good invention too. As the visors get dirty, they can pull a layer of very thin plastic off to give them a clearer vision. Some of the GT cars you'll see now during pit stops, certainly during endurance races, they will apply a similar theory. The Alfa Romeo 1750 TBI turbo, effectively 2-litre engine, similar engine that's being run in the Alfa Romeo TCR touring car. There's a production engine, of course, as you heard early in the piece from Giovanni Delfino, the CEO of Autotechnica. It is a production engine. It's a cost-controlled formula. Oh, here's a good battle. There's damage to the wing on the number 5, so Ling Kang is due to be in pit lane. That thing will be understeering dramatically well. That just highlights that, doesn't it? Straight off the circuit, the 33 of Akash Gowda, Indian driver. Now what's going on here? This looks like it might be a replay. This might explain what's happened. Into the back of Jeremy Wahome. Yeah, this thing's not much chop without a wing. The aerodynamics on these open wheel cars is there for a reason. It's not just to look sharp. It makes a big difference. When you consider that a car with a 1750 cc engine, 1742 to be exact, 270 horsepower, can turn these cars around this circuit as quick as a 600 horsepower 5.2 litre V10 GT3 car, then you know that the reliance on aero, of course they're a much lighter car, half the weight of a GT3 car, but the aero works very, very well. They carry a lot more corner speed than a GT car. They can brake an awful lot later because they're not a lot later. They're not having to retard as much weight as a GT3 car. But without that front wing, really, unfortunately, Ling Kang has no hope. He will, well, he didn't come down pit lane. He's pressing on. A bit more like a Formula Ford from the old days with a rear wing. It's going to be a very, very difficult car to drive, and in all reality, it's going to take the team a little bit of time to change it. His lap times, let's have a look, his fastest laps so far was a 1:43 dead. Funnily enough, last time round. A bit less aero drag too in a straight line, of course, but it's going to have a big impact on his handling. And yeah, you want to be very careful not to make contact with a modern day race car. It's not just GT cars, but certainly an open wheeler. You can have pretty big implications if you get it wrong. Akash Nandi on screen. Well, that is Ling Kang. Sorry, I was getting my cars wrong. I think that was Yin Haitao. No, it wasn't. It was the red and black entry. That is Ryan Liu, the number 6. There is the nose cone. Well, it's not the nose cone, it's the front wing. Nose cone, obviously, with the crash structure still attached to the car. But the uprights of the front wing. Field well spread out, controlling the gap now. Jake Hughes, 1:41.1, his best lap. Fastest second sector so far. So he has the fastest first, fastest second sectors of this race. But in contrast, Raoul Hyman has the fastest third sector, which is a fairly tricky, fairly bumpy part of the circuit. So not doing too bad. The lead out to 4.3 seconds. Charles Leong, 3.5 seconds back now from his teammate. There is the number 3 entry of Yin Haitao. He is in position number 9, leading the Masters classification. There is your race leader, Jake Hughes. Behind him, Raoul Hyman presses on. And talking to Raoul Hyman on the grid, the question was asked, what have you done differently? What can you do differently? And he said, we've been looking at all these things as a team. The problem with you battling a championship with your teammates is all the data you have access. Your teammate, that was very tight. Akash Gowda and Jeremy Wahome battling for position. We saw Jeremy Wahome battling very hard with Jaden Conright yesterday as Conright worked his way back through the field. But when the leading 3 cars in the championship are all from the same stable, it's a little bit difficult to find some sort of demon tweak that your teammates don't have. Talking to the Absolute Racing team, here's the replay. There is that contact, the number 6 entry. Of Ryan Liu, the Chinese driver we're talking about in the MC Squared racing entry. Done such a great job last weekend. Back-to-back wins in GT4 with the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. There he is. Oh, he's come down pit lane. They have put a new nose on. Okay. So whilst we've been talking, going through the field, Ryan Liu has come in and they've turned that around very, very nicely. The MC Squared team. There is the gap on screen. So Raoul Hyman is pulling away comfortably now from Charles Leong. Leong has about a 3-second lead over Jaden Conright, but Conright's got his mirrors full. By the looks of things, looking at that gap, it's well under a second. Tomoki Takahashi. So that Japanese super license driver is just 3/4 of a second behind the American. Akash Nandi almost 5 seconds back in position 6. So Takahashi's, you can see them just top of screen, Jaden Conright and Takahashi. So he's turned the tables on Akash Nandi, the young Malaysian driver from yesterday. Ling Kang back in position 7. Louis Pret not having a bad run, but would probably expect to be a little bit further forward, the driver from Macau. He, of course, is driving for the Black Arts Racing operation, based in Zhuhai. Dan Wells will be down there, I'd expect, in pit lane, steering the ship, the young Englishman that's been a great addition to that team. There's this great battle between Jeremy Wahome and Akash Gowda, the man from India. And these drivers are all pioneers, not just the fact that they've jumped into this new championship this year, but the F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA, is the litmus test for the new F3 formula globally, and it has been a great success. Talking to Davide De Gobbi from Top Speed, who is responsible for this formula. Of course, the Italian is formerly part of the Prema Power team, the very same team that has been responsible for some of the world's best open-wheeler drivers, and of course that is the team that took Mick Schumacher to the European Formula 3 Championship, the son of Michael Schumacher. The legendary Formula 1 driver took him to his maiden F3 Championship overnight in Hockenheim in Germany. So Davide De Gobbi telling me that they've sold 22 of these cars in Asia. And whilst it might seem quite simple to cross borders in Europe, visas do play a big part of access for people in and out of China. And that did have an impact on the number of entries we saw here last time round. 31st of August was the second event of the maiden season of the F3 Asian Formula. And we saw a number of drivers caught out in that. Also clashes with other championships. We're talking about some of these guys are competing in GT championships. Drivers like the man on screen, Jake Hughes, also competing in the European GP3 Championship. And the problem with that, of course, is there's a clash in dates on the 23rd to the 25th of November. Decision yet to be made from the team as to what the young Englishman will do. He's running 8th in that championship. He is comfortably leading this one, but there's only 17 points in it coming into this round. Let me just check that's not 19. It is in fact 19 championship points. Separate Jake Hughes, 175. Raoul Hyman, 156. Jaden Conright, 126. Charles Leong will be hoping to right that, and he will take, at the moment, currently in position 3, he will gain a couple more points on that gap to Jaden Conright, driver from Macau, 113. And Akash Nandi is 5th in this championship, currently on 103 points. His battle too with Tomoki Takahashi has been interesting. A Japanese driver turning the tables on the young Malaysian this time round. He's on 96 points and 6th in this championship race. We still have 5 races left. This is the fifth last race of the season, 15 rounds for the maiden season of the F3 Asian Championship. And this young man has not put a foot wrong. Well, you say young man, he could be the veteran in the field at 24 years of age. But he has done an outstanding job, has been undefeated. All in except a practice session or two. Jaden Conroy was very quick to start this weekend, so too Raoul Hyman, but ultimately when it got to the business end of proceedings, it was the young man from the UK. Well, having said that, Raoul Hyman also based in the UK, so too Jeremy Wahome, the Kenyan. If you're a young man looking to make, or a young woman in fact, looking to make a career in motorsport, you could do worse than base yourself in the UK. It's effectively the heartland of world motorsport, certainly an open wheel level. But that is, I was going to say changing, I was almost going to say slowly changing, but it's not slowly, certainly not rapidly changing, but the culture of motorsport in Asia is certainly building. This weekend we're running alongside the Blancpain GT Series Asia, very strong field of local and international entries. And to see drivers like Charles Leong, who's very closely matched on pace, the young man from Hong Kong, with his high-tech Dragon GP teammates. Oh, there's a passing move. Jaden Conroy and Tomoki Takahashi battling very hard. Of course, we're talking about championship points. The American has the advantage at the moment in the championship over his Japanese rival. There's only 7 points in that. And Takahashi would much prefer to have that super license in front of entry, in front of the Absolute Racing green and gunmetal grey. Could just call it grey, I guess, but it's a very sharp colour, very sharp livery. Berserk Designs, heavily involved in some of the stunning liveries that come out of the Absolute Racing stable. Of course, Ingo Mata and Fabian Fior, both Europeans, but based now in China, have been instrumental in the development of a number of Formula and GT racing. Been instrumental in a number of careers over the years. Young Alessio Picariello is one of those. The young Belgian, a real superstar now in GTs, but started his career thanks to the input of Absolute Racing. Picked him up from the junior open wheel formula in Europe. His career had all but ended after budget had run out. Put him in a car in Asia. He blew everybody's doors off except for Martin Rump, who is now his longtime rival and Absolute Racing teammate. He won GT Masters, the Formula Masters China Series a number of years ago. They both graduated to Audi and have built very strong careers in Asia in GT competition. And that is a great stepping stone now in Asia, talking about the development of these young Formula. Top Speed have been involved heavily too. That is the number 2 entry of Takashi Hata. We saw him yesterday spin about this stage of the race to bring out the safety car, and that's drama down at the chicane. And is down at turn 12, 13. The light's flashing. There's the rain light, but he will go no further. That's disappointing for him. It's dropped him back down the order, unfortunately, for the second of the super license entries. Tough run yesterday, spinning and forced into retirement, bringing out the safety car. 8 laps in the books. I got 12 in the books yesterday. We're currently on lap number 13. So Hata will just wait out his time. Race is nearly over. 1:40.798. What a fantastic lap last time round. We're talking about the GT Compete GTR 1 tyre. Hata compound comes on very late in proceedings. When we talk about come on, that means it gets up to its optimum working temperature. Usually takes a GT tyre 2 or 3 laps. Some of the new F1 tyres are basically up to spec within half a lap. But this is a harder compound. It means it's a little bit more difficult to manage, but this is a development formula. You want these things for the drivers to think about. And certainly wear is negligible. This track surface is not a hard wearing surface, so it's not aggressive for teams to have to set the car up, but they do need to get tyre temperature up. And that takes a little while. You see cars moving around all over the place. You saw that quite dramatically with Jake Hughes in the early laps. It's one of the differences between a professional and an amateur driver, is the ability for the pro to be able to drive the car on cold tyres. And Jake Hughes has used that to his great advantage, to open a big advantage in the opening laps. Most races he's out by 2+ seconds at the end of the first lap. He's put that to good use, but it shows that the value of the tyre punches out the fastest lap of the race on lap 13 in the final minutes of a 25-minute race. That is an exceptional addition to the category. And as we say, this was the litmus test for the new FIA F3 formula, and it's been a great season so far. This is race number 11 of 15 in this maiden season of the F3 Asian Championship. Last lap board is out. What is the advantage? Jake Hughes across the line, 5.16 seconds to Raoul Hyman. Now, this would be another 7 championship points. That would take the advantage going into the next race for Jake Hughes to 26 points. If things finish the way they are now, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on either of them, but that's not enough of an advantage for Jake Hughes to wrap up this championship, even if he does the same thing again this afternoon. The second race, 3:15 p.m. local time. It's just gone over 10:15, so you're 5 hours from now. We'll be underway with round number 12, so make sure you join us. Keep up to date with everything too online, www.f3asia.com, and the social media platforms, both Chinese and English, as this championship carries on. Final run now down to turn 12 and 13 at speed for Jake Hughes. This is another great race for the Hi-Tech Dragon GP operation. Mix of European knowledge and local support to develop what has been a dominant team. An incident involving car 6 and car 33, that's Akash Gowda, and Ryan Liu is under investigation. Well, we think we know what happened with that one. Unfortunately, that was damage to Ryan Liu, but across the line again, his 8th win of the season. Jake Hughes takes victory from his teammate Raoul Hyman, and a 26-point advantage into round 12 this afternoon. He dropped back over the closing stages, dropped the pace off, but Charles Leong makes it a 1-2-3 for the Hi-Tech Dragon GP team. Jaden Conroy manages to hold out Tomoki Takahashi. In the end, it's only by 35/100ths of a second. Akash Nandi 9 seconds back in position 6. So a good result for the Hi-Tech Dragon GP team. 1-2-3, 4th to Absolute Racing, 5th to Super License, and 6th to the 2nd of the Absolute Racing drivers. Ling Kang across the line for position 7 in the number 5 number 5 Zen Motorsport entry. Number 8 is Louis Pret, who got some runs on the board for the Black Arts Racing team. Across the line in position number 9 is the number 3 entry of Yin Haitao. He takes the top honours for the Masters class. Jeremy Wahome across the line in position 10. He dropped back from his starting position. He's 7th on the grid to start this race. There is a form finish. That's a nice result. They make a great photograph. The 3 Hi-Tech Dragon GP entries side by side, and good result for them. See almost identical livery. The Macau flag on the car to the right. That, of course, is the man I'm calling from Hong Kong. I'm sorry to Charles Leong. It's not far from Hong Kong to Macau, but he is most definitely a native of Macau. Across the line, position 11, Akash Gowda. Ryan Liu, by virtue of having to make that pit stop in the contact with the number 6 entry, sorry, the number 33 entry of Akash Gowda. And there is Takashi Hata, unfortunately parked at the side of the circuit. So some great celebrations pending for the Hi-Tech Dragon GP team. What can Raoul Hyman do? He can just bide his time and hope that perhaps Jake Hughes will not return for the final round of the championship. Although, to put your names in the history books, as the very first winner of the new formula of the F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA, would be something of great note. So a little bit of internal discussion in the high-tech team, I think, might need to take place after this weekend, because that could be a nice thing for Jake Hughes to add to his rather impressive resume as he looks to further his career. So congratulations again, High-Tech Dragon GP 1, 2, 3 for the second time this weekend. Another whitewash of the podium for Jake Hughes. That's win number 8 from 8 starts this year. Fastest lap again of the race. He keeps that perfect record alive. Ian Hightower comes in to take top spot for the Masters classification. We will hear very shortly from the drivers, get their feedback on this race. See what happens this afternoon. There's a slight threat of rain, but a little bit of drizzle around this morning. Around 4 o'clock they were suggesting there could be a 30% chance of rain. Of course, this race starts at 3:15 p.m, should be over well and truly by 4 o'clock, but you can't tell Mother Nature exactly what time things are going to happen, so who knows. But anyway, let's get down to the grid and hear from the round 11 race winner and his teammates for this additional historic High-Tech Dragon GP 1, 2, 3.
Hello, so here's congratulations that the top 3 of your teams get on the podium. You seem to very enjoy it, huh?
Yeah, winning is really fun, to be honest. Yeah, it never gets old. Yeah, good start like yesterday, and then could pull away. But as I said before the race, Raul, my teammate being P2, I knew the gap would be closer, and I think we were fighting from halfway to the end of the race. We were fighting for fastest lap every lap. So yeah, it was quite good fun for that reason. But yeah, Dragon High-Tech GP, we are 1, 2, 3 again. So pretty dominant team, to be honest.
So I seem to very enjoy on this track. So I think where is the most, the best part for you to drive?
On this track, for me?
Yeah, on this track.
I don't know. I think I do quite well in the middle sector. It's big curves, corners after corners, no straights, and it's like karting, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago when we used to go kart. So. Yeah, it's good fun. Cars moving around a lot. Head's getting smacked against the headrest all the time. So, yeah, I'm enjoying driving the track.
Okay, I hope you have a good luck next round. Thanks.
Great battles on track, largely between number 63 of Marco Mappelli and 28 Ferrari of Tim Slade. Dennis Lynn pitted out of the lead as late as he dared, was delayed on his way in by the...
With me now, I've got Martin Kodrick and Dennis Lynn in car number 19, the Lamborghini Triple F Racing Team.
So, hello Hyman, how's you feeling right now?
Happy for the team. I think first, second and third again, and we sailed the team championship. So really happy for them. They've done an awesome job, as I said before. And yeah, just pretty excited about that. In terms of the race, start wasn't great. Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to sort something out with the clutch. And yeah, I just haven't gotten it right yet. So I know what to do for the next one, so hopefully I'll sort it out. But first lap was pretty challenging with Charles. I mean, he said he was going to give me a run for it, and he did, so fair enough. But then after that, I just tried to stay consistent, and I think we did that. So it's a step forward.
Okay. So yesterday of the race, that Conrad was pushing you very hard. You think the next round we will push him harder?
Sorry, who was pushing me hard?
Conrad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think in the first race it was different because I didn't really want to overtake him when he had a penalty. So I could have, but it just wasn't worth the risk. Yeah, that just shows the pace of the car, not me. But yeah, I think in the next one, obviously Charles starts second, Jake first again. So I don't want to be focused on my mirrors. I want to be trying to go ahead. So let's see what we can do.
Okay, so good luck next round.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
好 ，Charlie， 你觉得今天的天气并不是很热，你觉得会对今天的轮胎有什么影响吗？
也没有太大影响吧，然后也不是热很多，也不是凉很多，所以差不多吧，也和昨天感觉。
马上就下午的时候就会有第3回合的比赛，你有什么策略吗？
起步位置更加好吧，然后也是争取拿第1。
好吧，那祝你好运，下一回合，谢谢。
好的，现在呢，我们已经可以看到我们的大屏幕上已经有现场观众和我们一起互动了。那接下来呢，就是我们第1轮的抽奖活动。第1轮抽奖的礼品呢是由普达新鲜康头枕提供的价值980元的车载健康头枕。
你是现场噪音呢？
好，有请我们的大屏幕开始滚动起来。我们看到30位幸运观众能够得到我们的礼品。
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now having the podium ceremony for 2018 Formula 3 Asia Championship certified by FIA Race 11。女士们、先生们，现在进行2018国际汽联亚洲3级方程式锦标赛第11回合的颁奖仪式。下面有请获奖车手 获得冠军的车手是来自 Dragon High-Tech GP 的34号车手 Jake Hills. Winner is car number 34 from Dragon High-Tech GP, Jake Hills. 获得亚军的车手是来自 Dragon High-Tech GP 的27号车手 Raul Heyman. Second place, car number 27 from Dragon High-Tech GP, Raul Heyman. 获得季军的车手是来自 Dragon High-Tech GP 的11号车手梁汉钊。Third place, car number 11 from Dragon High-Tech GP, Charles Liang. 下面有请 It's my honor to invite Mr. Gianfranco De Bliss, CEO of Tatus Racing, to present the trophy to the winner. 下面有请 Let's invite Mr. Giovanni Delfino, CEO of Auto Tecnica Motori, to present the trophy to second place. Now let's invite Mr. Martin Q, Director of Audi Sport Customer Racing Asia, to present the trophy to third place. 我们有请颁奖嘉宾和获奖车手合影留念 Group Photo。
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Drivers jumping time. Now let's have the podium ceremony for Master Cup. 下面有请 Master Cup 的获奖车手。获得冠军的车手是来自 Zen Motorsport 3号车手尹海涛。Winner is car number 3 from Zen Motorsport, 尹海涛。获得亚军的车手是来自 EMC2 的6号车手刘泽轩。Second place, car number 6 from EMC2 Racing, 刘泽轩。下面有请葛峰雷先生，嘉通轮胎研发中心总工程师，为大师杯组别冠军车手颁奖。It's my honor to invite Mr. 葛峰雷, Chief Engineer of GT Tire R&D Center, to present the trophy to the winner. 下面有请杨致远先生，福斯润滑油中国有限公司市场营销总监，为大师杯组别亚军车手颁奖。Let's invite Mr. Patrick Young, Marketing Director of Fox Lubricants China Limited, to present the trophy to second place. Towards jumping time.
Last time? No, this time it looks like they're better than... Oh, they're not? Yeah, exactly.
Well, who was fourth? Takahashi?
I actually know you're right. I think it was Punky. Yeah, I don't know. You need a chocolate. So it looks like you need a chocolate.
All right, welcome to the press conference for the Formula 3 Asian Championship, Ningbo, race 11. Congratulations to all drivers from High Tech, another 1, 2, 3. Very well done. Jake, again, congratulations, a faultless effort so far. Also, I noticed you did your fastest lap in this almost second last lap. So the tires seem to hold up quite well. But also, is this track more physically demanding or mentally demanding?
For sure, I'd say mentally. Physically, the corners aren't too high speed. So in terms of like your arms and your neck, you're not really struggling from that point of view. But there's corner after corner after corner. There's big curves that can catch you out at any point. So, like I said yesterday, it's kind of like a risk versus reward. So you can really push and gain lap time, but you risk a big mistake. And if you make the mistake, you're probably in the wall. So you have to be careful from that. But yeah, as I said yesterday, it was. I knew if I was P2, the gap and the lap times would be quite close. I think the gap kind of made itself in the early laps when he was defending from Charles, and then after that, I think we were quite even by the sounds of what I heard on the radio and on the pit board with the gap. But yeah, as you say, we're 1, 2, 3 again. Dragon, High Tech GP. I mean, just give us a mega car. Of the 3 rounds I've done, it's obviously been superb. So. Yeah, really big thanks to them, and we have one more race to try and make the perfect.
All right, perfect. Rahul, great race. I don't think you had the best of starts. It was very close with Charles at the beginning. Also, your team just won the team championship, and I was wondering, how important is it for a driver to contribute to winning the team championship? And also, like in a case like with your teammate Charles, does that play in the back of your head to make sure you don't make contact, or are you racing mostly for yourself and second for the team?
You made that one quite easy. No, I mean, I think I knew Charles was really close, but then obviously I have respect for him as a driver. and always left him space. And you know, he did the exact same for me. So whilst you know, it was quite exciting in the first few laps, and I obviously just needed to defend to make sure that I didn't lose the position and then set off after Jake and see what I could do there. It was hard and fair, the racing, so I really enjoyed it. I think Charles did as well, and it was nice to give you guys some action, you know, for the start of the race. But yeah, as you said, we just won the team's championship, and I think it's awesome for the team because they've really been working hard. They're the only team that will commute like a 12-hour journey or so from the UK, and they, you know, we've just pitched up and they've done an amazing job straight from the word go. So they're really deserving of the championship, and I'm glad that we all got to contribute and be a part of it.
Oh, great. Charles, to you. Looked like you had a very good start, and we're really close to Raul at the beginning, matching his times. However, towards the end of the race, you seem to lose some pace. Can you tell us what happened?
At the start, it was really close, and then in the middle, I found out like, because there's no really a lot, like there isn't a lot of point to do any more fighting at here, because Ningbo is a track for this car. It's really hard to overtake, so I try not to hurt the bell housing in the race, so I kind of just take it easy at the end.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Then over to Alex.
Okay, I have some questions for our Master Cup drivers. First of all, Nico, congratulations for winning. And looks like you have more pace in this race, and you are now have more advantage on the Drivers' Championship or Master Cup. Is it a good race for you?
Yeah, any championships is when, of course, is good, and the performance of myself is better and better, but still the lap time, the drop down and up is still not average during the race, so still a lot of work to do. Anyway, yeah.
All right, thank you. Next question, Ron. So we say that in this weekend, there's a lot of things happen to your car and in the race, and but your boss managed to finish in the race for both races. So can you tell us what happened in the race, and what you were thinking when you lost your front wings?
Yeah, we found it's really hard to make the tire have a higher temperature, especially for brand new tire. So in the beginning of the race, I was really struggling. So, and then I found some pace, and I think I made a misjudgment when in a brake zone, and that caused me lose my front wing. But after I changed front wing, I was like doing consistent lap time. So I'm happy with that. I don't want to save some tires for the next run. I just want to try to have, you know, become faster and have better performance. So I was really happy the result, and congrats to Ying Haitao to win the Master. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, let's have a go photo.